For BWYellowJackets.com, I'm Brendan Gulick, here to put a wrap on the 2018-2019 athletic seasons here for the Yellow Jackets. And quite frankly, this was one of the more memorable years in recent history for Baldwin Wallace. We had so much to celebrate throughout the course of the year. You could kind of feel it as one of those seasons as the year went along. But now that we've reached the conclusion, we actually have some data to share with you. It turned out it was one of the most successful seasons as an athletic department in general we've had here in a long time in Berea. So off the top, congratulations to all of our teams who, in large, really competed very well, not just in conference but out of conference and in many cases on the national level. So we have 23 varsity sports here at Baldwin Wallace, and this year 17 of those 23 teams had winning records. We had 2 teams that finished with records at 500. So the vast majority of competition here for the Yellow Jackets this year was over 500, which is really cool. In fact, the all-encompassing record of our teams here in 2018 and 2019, 404 wins, 200 losses, and 3 ties. That's a .668 winning percentage as a school, and it represents the best mark from a winning percentage standpoint that we've had since the 2010-2011 academic year. So it's been almost a decade since the Yellow Jackets as a whole have had this kind of success. Really cool to follow the teams throughout the course of the year. So this is kind of a recap of some of the highlights from each and every team throughout the course of the season. Just a couple of little things to share with you if you didn't have a chance to follow everybody closely along the way. And we'll kind of go chronologically. So let's start in the fall. Our football team had their best year since 2011. They finished the season 8-2, had a really fun season, and lots of single game records were in question or broken throughout the course of the year. Ryan Simpson and Kyle Kelly were each named academic All-Americans. We had 8 All-OAC performers on the football team this year, and Jordan Leverett was a Division III D3Football.com All-North Region selection. He was also a first-team All-OAC selection. He and Ty Fields, both first-team All-Conference. So congratulations to them. The team was ranked as high as number 21 in the country. Again, their best year since 2011. Really cool for the football team here this season. The volleyball team had a great year, 27-5, including an OAC quarterfinal win at home over Heidelberg. They started the year 22-1, got off to an awesome start at the beginning of the season and just kind of kept that going all the way up to the OACs. We had 4 young ladies that were all-conference. Sophomore Taylor Brown was a first-team All-OAC selection. And probably the big highlight of the year for the volleyball team was when they beat Ohio Northern at home in straight sets. They hadn't beaten them in a long time at home. So really a cool year again for BW Volleyball. And we're really looking forward to Casey Enger's leadership as she takes over the team now. The men's soccer team had their best season since 2014. Finished with a record of 7-10-2. Danny Ruppel obviously has been one of the better athletes here at Baldwin Wallace for a little while. He was a United Soccer Coaches Scholar Academic All-American, and he broke the program's all-time scoring record this year. He pretty much owns most of the records, or will own, as long as he stays healthy, a lot of the records in the soccer program, and we've enjoyed watching Danny's success on the field. But he wasn't alone. 5 different young men were recognized as All-Ohio players, not just OAC, but All-Ohio. And head coach Reed Ayers, one of the coolest honors of his head coaching career, he was giving the honor award by the Ohio Collegiate Soccer Association, which is their highest level of recognition. He is the winningest coach in program history, so some cool recognition for Reed Ayers as well. The women's soccer team made their 6th consecutive OAC tournament this year, finished with a record of 11 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw. Rachel Bender was highly celebrated throughout campus, and frankly, more than just that. She was an All-American, an academic All-American, and a United Soccer Coaches Scholar All-American. She was also the Greater Cleveland Sports Award Female Collegiate Athlete of the Year, which is a huge deal here locally in Northeast Ohio. Rachel was one of 3 players that made the All-OAC team, and she was actually BW's most outstanding female senior student athlete. So Rachel Bender took home a lot of hardware, but the Yellow Jackets as a team, again, 6 straight OAC tournaments, and not barely the top half of the league makes the tournament. So for them to continue to keep building and keep putting out winning records has been really good. We're looking forward to seeing what they can do in the fall. The women's cross-country season in the fall sure was fun, wasn't it? They won their first regional championship in program history at Blue River Park in Indiana. The coaching staff was named the OAC Women's Coaching Staff of the Year. They ran in the national meet because they were regional champions. It was the 8th time in program history that the women have done so, but their first since 2009, so they haven't been there very often. Really cool to see them on the national scene. That national meet was up in Wisconsin, and the team had 8 academic All-OAC performers, so congratulations to the women's cross-country team on a good season. Men's cross-country team also accomplished one of their goals. They wanted to be in the top 10 finish at regionals, and they did that for the first time in 18 years. They finished 5th at OACs this year, but a terrific performance for them at the Great Lakes Regional Championship capped off a nice season for the men's cross-country team. The men's golf team got off to an incredible start in the fall, and we're going to dive a little deeper into them for the springtime. But they won 4 of the 6 tournaments that they played in the fall to really be a catalyst for them and drive them through the cold months here in Northeast Ohio. It turned into a very memorable season for our men's golf team. The women's golf team, led by Anna Schatzscheider, she highlighted the fall as the co-medalist in her Baldwin-Wallace debut. She did that at the JCU Fall Invitational out at the Country Club of Hudson. Of course, the golf season and the tennis seasons are split between the fall and the spring, so I'll tell you a little bit more about the golf teams and their championship seasons when we talk about the spring. On the tennis side, had a really wet fall and didn't have a ton of opportunities to compete for either team, but a couple chances to get out there and at least compete in the fall before they went into the spring seasons. Then we jumped into the wintertime, where our men's basketball team had an absolutely terrific run at the end of the year. They finished with a record of 21-9, 11-7 in conference, but they won the OAC Tournament Championship for the first time since 2006 and went back to the national tournament with a really cool first-round win over the Salisbury Seagulls, an impressive win, and then they lost an overtime game against Oswego State for a chance to go to the Sweet 16, but a fabulous year. Jay Battle and Kyle Nader both were on the All-OAC team. Jay Battle, in fact, was the Clyde Lamb Award recipient. He was a first-team All-Conference performer and also was recognized All-Region. We had to say goodbye to both Jay and Kyle as seniors, but certainly looking forward to seeing what that team can do this upcoming year. The women's basketball season got off to a great start at 10-1. And while they didn't finish in the OAC tournament where they had hoped, they got an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament and perhaps provided us with the most exciting moment of the year when they had a buzzer beater in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Women's season finished at 20-8, 13-5 in conference play, and that only loss in that opening stretch was to Thomas More, who ended up going 33-0 and winning the national championship. So nothing wrong with losing to a team of that caliber. They made the NCAA tournament for the 14th time in program history, but their first since 2015. They were an at-large selection, and one of the last teams in. They really had to sweat it out, but a cool moment for them. The buzzer beater win over RIT came in the first round of the NCAA tournament. It was played at Messiah College, and Messiah ended up knocking the Yellow Jackets out of the tournament the next round. Lily Edwards, the freshman of the year in the league, she hit the buzzer beater to beat RIT. Riley Schill and Casey Hughes were also all-conference performers. Another memorable year for a Yellow Jacket ladies basketball team that didn't play very many games at full strength all year and still achieved at a very high level. Congratulations to them. The wrestling team, 8 guys qualified for national championship meet this year. How cool is that? 4th consecutive OAC title. Boy, the wrestling team has continued to achieve at an unbelievably high level here of late. A school record 8 guys were named National Wrestling Coaches Association Scholar All-American Team. Pretty impressive for what Jamie Gibbs has done. In fact, he was named the Coach of the Year in the OAC this year. Charlie Nash and Zach Lehman were both All-Americans at the national championship meet. And Anthony Arroyo finished off his OAC career in stunning fashion. He never lost in a dual meet here in conference competition. Anthony went 22-0, finished his career with 120 wins, 21 losses. He was the most outstanding male senior student athlete and a 2-time All-American during his career. The indoor track and field season had a couple of fun highlights, especially toward the national championships at the end of the season. Highlighted certainly by Kelly Brennan and her All-American showing in the 800. It was great to see Kelly running well up at the Reggie Lewis Center in Boston. Zach Dysert was a national qualifier in the weight throw, and that was just a little bit of a teaser for him. He couldn't wait to get rolling for the outdoor season. Maybe the ultimate highlight for the Yellow Jackets this year. We'll touch on that coming up here shortly for the spring season. Ted Aklaitis had a great year. He was all-region in the shot put for the second year in a row on the men's track and field side. Grace Nemeth, co-most outstanding sprinter at the indoor OAC championship meet. She won the 200 in that meet. Brooke Buchanan was the most outstanding field athlete in the OAC championship meet in the indoor year. And Amanda Milo won her first OAC championship in the 60-meter dash. So really some fun highlights there in the indoor track and field season as well. In the pool, the Yellow Jackets really had a fun OAC championship from the standpoint that they broke lots of school records and they were able to bring home some OAC championships. Let's start on the men's side. They took fourth at the conference championship this year, but set 4 school records at that OAC meet, and Matthew Butt was recently recognized as academic All-OAC. Michael Morsch kind of stole most of the spotlight at that championship meet. He broke a 25-year-old school record in the 200 backstroke. Over 3 days, he set 2 records, one of which he broke 3 separate times in the 100 back. So he's now the school record holder in the 100 and the 200 backstroke. And Greg Shaw had the school record in the 200 fly at the OAC championships as well. On the women's side, a really fun OAC championship showing for them. Bella Rattino, fabulous in her first year swimming for the Yellow Jackets. She, Allie Thorson, and Olivia Jacob took first, second, and third in the 500 free, which is one of the distance events in swimming. Really cool to see 3 Yellow Jackets on the podium for that particular event. Erica Knockenghost defended her title in the 100 butterfly, and then Allie Thorson won her first OAC championship in the 200 freestyle. The 800 free relay team and the 200 free relay team both broke school records at the OAC championships. Lauren Franz finished as the runner-up this year in the conference in the 3-meter dive. More on Allie Thorson. She was the runner-up in the 1650, and it was her 5th career All-Ohio Athletic Conference honor, and the 3rd that came for her at the meet. But the most outstanding swimmer for the Yellow Jackets was Bella Rattino. In 3 days, she won 2 championships. She had 3 individual school records, was part of a relay team that broke a record, and she set the 200 backstroke record for the Yellow Jacket program. So a really fun way to end the swimming and diving season for the Yellow Jackets. And that was a great catalyst for us going into the springtime, where the spring sports took the momentum from the fall and winter, picked it up, and ran with it. And we continued to have some fun in the spring. Let's start with the baseball team, whose final record was 27-17. They went 14-4 in OAC play, and for the first time since 1988, they were regular season champions in the Ohio Athletic Conference. They made their 8th appearance in the NCAA Tournament this year, but their 4th under head coach Brian Harrison. They seem to be becoming a regular in the national tournament under Coach Harrison, who was recognized for the first time in his career as the OAC Coach of the Year. Congratulations to Coach Harrison. He also won his 200th game earlier this year. The team made it all the way to the regional championship game before bowing out to Concordia, Chicago. Danny Cody, OAC Pitcher of the Year, Mideast Region Pitcher of the Year. He was a Rawlings and D3Baseball.com All-American, and today was named an Academic All-American in addition to that. Danny Cody certainly swept up a whole bunch of awards, one of the more accomplished pitchers in program history. Congratulations to him and good luck as he pursues a professional baseball career. 10 academic All-OAC representatives for the baseball team. 7 guys were represented for their athletic achievements All-OAC, including Danny Cody, who was on the first team, Phillip Wells, and Alex Ludwig. The softball team, a school record, 33 wins this year. We've had a lot of records. Can you feel it already? 33-10, 13-5 in OAC competition. They started the year 25-3. There's 450 teams that played Division III college softball, and the Yellow Jackets this year were absolutely among the elite teams that continued to play toward the end of the year. They made it back to the OAC tournament and won a game in that tournament. Freshman pitcher Nikki Camerati stole a lot of headlines throughout the course of the year. Her 20 wins was 12th in all of Division III across the country. and there's 450 teams. She was top 20 individually in 5 different categories. The OAC Pitcher of the Year had 197 strikeouts. That was 10th most in the country. Alexis Boldovic, 69 hits this year. That's 8th most of any Division III softball player in the country. And she was the Clyde Lamb Award recipient on the ladies' side here for Baldwin-Wallace. Truly one of the best hitters in program history. 5 academic all-conference performers. Of course, Nikki, Alexis, and Alex Kozic as well were on the first team all-central region. Really cool year for the softball team. Can't wait to see what kind of momentum they take into the summertime. The men's lacrosse team had a banner season. 14-3 their final record. They finished with an 8-1 mark in conference play. Chad Steinwalks became just the second Yellow Jacket ever to achieve All-American status. He led all of Division III, the number 1 player in the country in points per game at almost 7 and an assist per game at over 4.5. Chad was a fabulous lacrosse player here, and we were really lucky to have him representing the Yellow Jackets. The team was number 4 in the country in scoring offense. They were the number 1 team in the nation in shot percentage. They were 3rd in the country in assists per game and 25th in man-up offense. It was a prolific offensive season for Trey Keeley and his team. Really pretty cool, even though they may have ended just a little bit earlier than they had hoped for. They tied the school record with 14 wins, and they set the school record with both 8 wins in conference and 8 road victories, which is certainly difficult to do in the OAC. 7 guys were represented on the All-OAC team. On top of Chad Steinwalks, senior defender Brian Janzinski was also a first-team representative. The women's lacrosse team finished 9-7. They went 6-2 in conference play and had a really nice rebound after playing some very difficult competition out of conference early in the season. Hannah Stein was recognized as the OAC Defensive Player of the Year. She was on the All-Great Lakes Region team. The team had 5 All-OAC performers, 5 academic All-OAC representatives. Bree Martineau and Megan Patrick were also on the first team along with Hannah Stein. Ashley Hildreth broke the program record this year for career saves. She did it as part of a 20-0 win over Muskingum, one of 2 shutouts that the women's lacrosse program had this year. Both Megan Patrick and Hannah Albrechta became the 3rd and 4th players in BW history to reach 100 career goals. So pretty cool for them to hit that big milestone. And the team made the OAC tournament again this year. They've been a staple ever since the Ohio Athletic Conference opened women's lacrosse as a sponsored sport 6 years ago. They've been in the tournament every year. So congratulations again to Nicole St. Pierre and her staff on another great year. All right, the men's golf team took some of that momentum from the fall and ran with it in the springtime. They won 2 more tournaments in the spring, so 6 total tournament wins. One of the most successful seasons in BW men's golf history, no matter how you look at it, both individually and as a team. This team really achieved at a high level. Jimmy Clark, Hunter Miller, and Ronnie Shin all made the all-conference roster at the spring championship down in River Greens. They finished 2nd as a team of the 9 schools in the league, finishing runner-up this year to Otterbein. Hunter Miller had his first lifetime hole-in-one. He did it in a tournament that BW hosted over at Pine Hills Golf Club in Hinckley. Did it on the 8th hole back on April 20th. A really cool highlight for Hunter Miller. And Ben Ladeka shot 69 at the OAC Championship, which was the low round of the entire season for any one of the OAC, or I should say any one of the BW golfers. So great to see him playing well, but also for that to come at a great time of year at the championship time. It was his personal BW record as well. And because of his team's success in large part, I'm sure he would tell you that, Wayne Schneider, Coach of the Year in the Ohio Athletic Conference for the men's golf season. Congratulations to them on a absolutely outstanding year out on the links. The women's golf team, Anna Schott-Schneider, continued to have a good spring. She was all-conference, finishing 6th at the OAC Championship. There were 4 young ladies that were recognized as academic All-OAC selections. Probably the biggest highlight of the season for the women's golf team, they won a tournament down in spring break down in Florida, and then they came back up here and finished in 2nd in a tournament shortly thereafter at the JCU Spring Shootout in April. So they had a couple of good weeks there back-to-back. But of course, this is also an opportunity for us to say thank you and good luck to head coach John Capusta who is no longer the head coach. He has announced his retirement effective immediately. In 6 seasons, he did a great job with this program and did take them to the national tournament back in 2014. So thank you very much to Coach Kapusta and everything he did for the Yellow Jacket golf program in his tenure here. That leaves us with just a couple of more teams. The tennis team, after not having a whole lot of opportunities to compete, either the men or the women, in the fall, they both competed in the springtime. The men finished with a record of 15-6. They went 3-4 in OAC play, but had 3 all-conference selections: Dominic Polifrone, Matt Harris, and Jake Elbin. Dominic Polifrone retires now as he graduates. He was the number 9 all-time BW singles player with a record of 78-20, and the number 8 all-time doubles player with a record of 81-24. The Yellow Jackets finished up their season in the OAC quarterfinals at Mount Union. So 15-6, another good year for the BW men's tennis team. On the women's tennis side, a nice showing in conference after kind of a tough start to the year for first-year head coach Dean Morse. He really got them playing well. Finished 4-4 in OAC play after the team had lost their first 10 matches of the year. Jade Robinson and Ashton Morris both recognized as All-OAC performers, and they also made the OAC Conference Tournament and lost at Mount Union in the quarterfinals. So congratulations to them on making a better second half of the season, and good luck to Coach Morris as he continues to build his program in what will become his second year. And then things finished with a bang. How about that track and field team at the National Championships just a couple weeks ago over in Geneva? Let's start on the men's side, where we had a national champion this year, Zach Dysert, the 4th individual national champion in Baldwin-Wallace track and field history. He did it in the hammer throw. He certainly felt like he had a chance because he had the number 1 seed time in the entire country, but you still, or I should say seed mark, but you still have to go out and do it, and he performed at an extremely high level and won a national championship, and that is really, really cool for Zach Dysert and for the Yellow Jacket team. Jordan Leverett also performed really well again at the outdoor meet. He was an All-American, finishing 4th in the 200, and he finished 6th in the 100, so congratulations to Jordan on 2 more All-American nominations for him. Both guys were named the United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association Region Athletes of the Year. 1 field athlete, 1 track athlete for all of the teams in the Great Lakes region, and those 2 guys on the men's side were the Region Athletes of the Year. Congratulations to them. Very, very cool. Jordan also was the OAC champion in the 100, and Zach won the OAC championship in the hammer throw. And on the ladies' side, Kelly Brennan saw Zach Dysert perform well and decided she wanted to have a chance too, and she was the national runner-up in the 800 after she was an All-American in the 800 in the indoor season. So a 3-time All-American honor for Kelly Brennan in her time here at BW through her first few years. Alyssa Loeffner was the top national finalist as a freshman in the steeplechase at the national championship. She finished 9th, just a couple seconds behind being an All-American as a freshman. Brooke Buchanan and Amanda Milo both also qualified for the national championship meet in the hammer and in the 100-meter hurdles. Those 4 young women, as well as Grace Nemeth, were all recognized as all-region honorees, and Brooke was, of course, the OAC hammer champion. Kelly won the OAC championship in the 800 and in the 1500, and in the 800 she did it in a championship meet record. I'm out of breath. It was an unbelievable season for the Yellow Jackets. Again, as an athletic department, to have a winning percentage that's approaching 67% is unbelievably good. The best year that as an athletic department we've had in almost a decade, 2010, 2011, really an impressive year. Thank you to everybody back home that followed the Yellow Jackets, whether it was in person or watching a broadcast or following the live stats, reading the stories that were put up. The Yellow Jackets very much appreciate your support and hope that you'll continue to be there again come the fall. Have a great summer. We can't wait to see what the Yellow Jackets have in store for us again in the fall. And of course, anything that comes up over the summertime, of course, we are looking for a new women's golf coach. So if there is news on that front or any other front, you can find it on bwyellowjackets.com. I'm Brendan Gulick. So long for now from Berea, and we'll see you in the fall.